Have you ever found yourself thinking about someone constantly, even when you don't want to? It's like they've set up a permanent residence in your mind, with no eviction notice, no explanation, just this endless mental presence. Whether it's an ex, a crush, or even someone you barely know, they seem to pop up over and over again, uninvited. And you might find yourself wondering, why can't I stop thinking about them? Here's the thing. It's not some random glitch in your brain's system. According to Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, when someone keeps haunting your thoughts, it's not just a coincidence. It's not just a passing thought or some fleeting distraction. No, Jung believed that this persistent mental presence actually points to something much deeper about who you are as a person, something your unconscious mind is trying to bring to light. Jung argued that our minds aren't as simple as we often think. On the surface, we have the thoughts, emotions, and memories that we're conscious of, but beneath that, there's a much larger, hidden part of us, the unconscious. And here's where it gets really interesting. When someone lingers in your thoughts, it's not just because of them. Jung would say that it's actually a signal from your unconscious mind. It's like your mind is trying to grab your attention and say, hey, pay attention to this person, because they're connected to something deeper within you that you haven't explored yet. Think about it. Maybe this person said something that struck a chord with you, triggering an old memory. Or maybe they embody a quality you wish you had, like confidence or creativity, and your mind is fixated on them because it's reminding you of something you desire within yourself. It's not about them. It's about what they represent in your life and how your unconscious is pushing you to look deeper into yourself. So, why does this person seem to haunt your mind? According to Jung, it's because they're reflecting something in your unconscious that you may not even be aware of. It's not just an accident or a random thought. It's your unconscious mind sending you a message. But here's the kicker. It doesn't mean you're doomed to be haunted by these thoughts forever. It's actually a wake-up call, a chance to pay attention to the deeper parts of yourself that are waiting to be discovered. By the end of this, you might realize that this person you've been obsessing over isn't actually the one you should be focusing on. Instead, it's the deeper message your mind is trying to share with you that deserves your attention. Are you ready to dive in and uncover what's really going on in your mind? Now, let's dig deeper into what might be going on in your mind. Carl Jung believed that when someone constantly appears in your thoughts, it's not just a random occurrence. In fact, it's a clue about something within you that needs attention. Jung's theory is rooted in the idea that our unconscious mind works tirelessly behind the scenes, and when someone lingers in your mind, it's because they've triggered something hidden beneath the surface. But what exactly is being triggered? Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, and it's central to understanding why certain people keep popping into your thoughts. The shadow is the part of your psyche that you try to ignore or deny, the aspects of yourself that don't fit your ideal image of who you are. It could be traits you're uncomfortable with, emotions you don't want to feel, or desires you've repressed. And here's the key. The people who occupy your thoughts might be reflecting that very shadow. Imagine this. You admire someone's confidence, but deep down, you're struggling with your own self-doubt. You're drawn to their boldness because it's something you wish you could express. Or maybe you find yourself fixated on someone's creativity because it's something you've neglected in yourself. On the flip side, it could be that someone triggers negative feelings in you because they embody qualities that you refuse to admit are part of you. Maybe arrogance, impulsiveness, or judgment. Jung believed that the people we attract into our lives often act as mirrors. They reflect the parts of ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge or accept. When someone keeps showing up in your thoughts, it's like your unconscious is saying, hey, take a look. There's something in you that we need to address. But here's the interesting part. This isn't about blaming the other person. It's about looking inward. Instead of obsessing over why you can't stop thinking about them, Jung suggests asking yourself, what part of me are they reflecting? What do I need to acknowledge or embrace in myself? This approach flips the script. Instead of seeing this person as the problem, you begin to explore how they are connected to your own growth and self-discovery. The shadow isn't something to fear. It's an invitation to explore the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. As Jung once said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So, the next time someone occupies your thoughts in a way that feels intense, don't just push it aside. Take it as an opportunity to explore the deeper layers of your unconscious mind and see what's waiting for you to discover. Now, let's explore another fascinating concept introduced by Jung, the Anima and Animus. These are two archetypes that represent the feminine and masculine aspects of our psyche, respectively. The Anima is the inner feminine in men, and the Animus is the inner masculine in women. But don't get caught up in the idea of gender. These are symbolic representations of energies that exist in everyone, regardless of identity. We all have both masculine and feminine qualities within us, and understanding these internal archetypes can be crucial in uncovering why someone might be living rent-free in your mind. So, how does this relate to the people who seem to constantly occupy your thoughts? According to Jung, when you find yourself fixated on someone, it's often because they resonate with your anima or animus. Let me explain. Maybe this person reflects qualities of your ideal partner or represents something that you feel is missing in your own life. Perhaps they exude a depth of emotion or sensitivity that you're craving, or maybe their sense of strength or decisiveness sparks something inside you that's tied to your inner masculine. Here's where it gets interesting. While we can be attracted to these qualities in others, sometimes the fixation goes beyond attraction. Jung argued that we can project our ideals and desires onto people, seeing them not as they are, but as we want them to be. It's as if we place them on a pedestal, imagining them to embody the perfect balance of what we're seeking, when in reality, we might be projecting our unconscious desires onto them. For instance, you might be drawn to someone's emotional intelligence because it mirrors your own inner anima, the feminine side of you that craves emotional depth and connection. Or, you could be attracted to someone's drive and ambition, which aligns with the masculine energy within you that yearns for purpose and strength. But here's the kicker. Sometimes, this projection can create illusions. We start seeing the person through the lens of our own desires, not their true selves, which can lead to confusion and misunderstanding. Jung's concept of the anima and animus isn't just about attraction. It's about the deeper parts of ourselves that we might not fully recognize. So, the next time you find yourself fixated on someone, ask yourself, what qualities do they embody that resonate with me? What is it in myself that I'm seeking through them? This shift in perspective can help you understand that your attraction or obsession might be more about what's happening within you than it is about the person themselves. The key takeaway here is that our projections onto others often reveal our unconscious desires and needs. By understanding the anima and animus, we can begin to untangle these projections and gain insight into the parts of ourselves that are seeking balance and expression. And just like with the shadow, it's not about blaming the other person. It's about recognizing the deeper forces at work within your own psyche. Now, let's dive into something that really flips the way we see our relationships with others. Projection. According to Carl Jung, a lot of what we feel about other people has less to do with them and more to do with us. In fact, Jung believed that many of our strong reactions, whether positive or negative, are projections of our own thoughts, desires, and unresolved emotions onto others. To understand this better, imagine that your mind is like a movie projector. You take your internal thoughts, your wishes, fears, and past experiences, and you project them onto other people, like they're the actors in your mental movie. This phenomenon is what Jung called projection, and it's a huge part of why someone might be constantly haunting your thoughts. Let's break it down with an example. Say you really admire someone's ambition and drive. In reality, that might be something you wish you had more of in your own life, or perhaps it's a quality you already possess but haven't fully acknowledged. So, in this case, you're projecting your own latent desire for ambition onto this person. You're not just admiring them for who they are, you're actually admiring the parts of yourself that you haven't fully embraced yet. On the flip side, projection works in the opposite direction too. Maybe you feel irritated by someone's arrogance or coldness, and it's not because they're actually arrogant or cold, but because these traits remind you of something you don't like about yourself. Maybe you have a hidden fear of being judgmental, or perhaps you've pushed away feelings of vulnerability. The person you're fixated on is reflecting those traits back at you, and your unconscious mind uses them as a screen to project your internal fears or dislikes. Here's where it gets tricky. Projection feels so real. When you project onto someone, it's easy to think you're seeing them for who they truly are. You might think they're amazing or they're terrible, without realizing that what you're really seeing is an extension of your own psyche. These feelings are your unconscious mind trying to make sense of your own inner world, and they can cloud your judgment of the person in question. So, how can this be a tool for self-growth? Well, when you catch yourself obsessing over someone, whether in admiration or frustration, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I really seeing here? What does this person reflect in me? Instead of blaming them for your emotions, This shift in perspective helps you focus inward. You can use these projections as a mirror to examine parts of yourself that might need attention, healing, or further development. By owning your projections, you take back the power you've given to others to influence your thoughts and emotions. You stop seeing the person as the cause of your feelings and begin to see them as an opportunity for self-reflection. As Jung wisely noted, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When you can identify your projections, you take the first step in reclaiming those hidden parts of yourself. Instead of allowing others to trigger your emotions, you can start using these moments as a path to better understand who you are, what you need, and what you might have been avoiding. Now, let's explore one of the most intriguing ideas Carl Jung proposed: synchronicity. Have you ever experienced a moment when you've been thinking about someone, and then, out of nowhere, they contact you? Or maybe you've had a lingering thought about a person, and then you unexpectedly bump into them? It feels like more than just a coincidence, right? Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that aren't just random, but somehow linked by a deeper significance. Jung believed that these synchronistic events aren't governed by cause and effect, as we typically understand in the logical world. Instead, they are connected by meaning. In other words, it's not about one event causing another in a traditional sense, but rather about events aligning in a way that feels meaningful to you. This connection between your inner world and the outer world can feel almost magical, like the universe is giving you a little wink. Now, how does this apply to someone who seems to constantly haunt your thoughts? Jung proposed that these synchronistic moments are not mere chance. They are messages from your unconscious mind. Think about it. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about this person are influencing your perception of the world around you. And perhaps, in turn, the universe or some larger force is aligning events in your external world to match these inner workings. Maybe it's a nudge from your unconscious mind to get your attention, to make you reflect on why this person keeps resurfacing in your thoughts, or what they represent. For instance, you might be thinking about a person for weeks, and then, out of nowhere, you run into them at a cafe or receive a message from them. This sudden alignment of thought and action feels too significant to ignore. It can leave you wondering, what is this trying to tell me? Jung believed that synchronicity is a call to action, an opportunity to reflect on the deeper meaning behind the coincidence. It's a moment that urges you to pay closer attention to what is happening in your life and how it connects to your thoughts. But here's the kicker. Synchronicity isn't just about random chance or coincidence. Jung believed that these synchronistic events are invitations to reflect. They are moments designed to help you understand what this person means to you and why they keep appearing in your mind. They're also a reminder to listen to what your unconscious is trying to communicate. Maybe this person is triggering an unresolved emotion, or perhaps they're representing a part of yourself that needs healing. Or it could be that they're there to help you step into a new phase of your life. Instead of brushing these synchronistic moments off as coincidences, Jung would suggest that you treat them as an opportunity to reflect. They're a sign that your inner world is speaking to you, and it's time to dig deeper. So, the next time something synchronistic happens, take it as a nudge from the universe, or, more accurately, from your own unconscious mind, to explore what it is trying to show you. As Jung said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. When these meaningful coincidences occur, don't just shrug them off. Take them seriously and ask yourself what they might be revealing about you, your emotions, and your relationship with the person who's been haunting your thoughts. Now that we've explored Jung's theories, you might be wondering, what can you actually do about this person who keeps living rent-free in your mind? After all, it's one thing to understand why they're there, but how do you use this knowledge to your advantage? Luckily, Jung's ideas aren't just fascinating, they're also practical tools for self-awareness and growth. So let's talk about 3 steps you can take to decode what your mind is really trying to tell you when someone lingers in your thoughts. The first step is to simply reflect on your emotions when you think about this person. What feelings come up when their name pops into your mind? Are you inspired by their confidence? Frustrated by their aloofness? Drawn to their sense of adventure? Identifying the emotions you're experiencing is key to understanding what this person represents in your life. Jung believed that emotions aren't random. They carry significant meaning, and by paying attention to how you feel, you can begin to uncover what's going on beneath the surface. So, start by asking yourself, what exactly am I feeling when I think about this person, and why? Once you've identified your feelings, it's time to dig deeper into what they mean. For example, if you admire this person's creativity, it could be because you feel like you're not expressing your own creative side. Or maybe their rejection stings more than you expected, revealing an old wound around self-worth or fear of abandonment. The key here is to look beyond the surface of your emotions and ask yourself, what part of me is being triggered by this person? What unresolved feelings, desires, or fears am I grappling with? Journaling or meditating on these questions can help you get to the root of the issue. By understanding what's really going on inside, you can begin to make sense of why this person keeps appearing in your thoughts. The final step is to use these insights to grow. This isn't about changing the other person. It's about transforming yourself. Once you've reflected on your emotions and analyzed their deeper meaning, it's time to take action. Maybe it's time to work on building your confidence if you're drawn to someone's self-assurance. Or perhaps it's time to embrace your creative side and take steps to nurture that part of yourself. Maybe you need to heal old emotional scars or address unresolved fears that have been holding you back. Whatever it is, use the understanding you've gained to fuel your personal growth. Remember, as Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The key is not to let your thoughts control you. Instead, take the reins and use these insights as a roadmap for self-discovery and transformation. By decoding your thoughts, you can turn what feels like an obsessive mental loop into a powerful opportunity for personal growth. Instead of being haunted by this person, you can start seeing them as a guide, a mirror reflecting the parts of yourself that are ready to be acknowledged, embraced, and healed. When you do this, you take control of your thoughts and your life, transforming what once seemed like a burden into a pathway for growth and enlightenment. Now that we've explored the theories and practical steps, it's important to reflect on the bigger picture. Why does this person keep coming into your thoughts in the first place? The simple answer is that the people who occupy our minds are often more than just random figures in our lives. They are often connected to something deeper within us, something that is calling out for our attention and growth. As we've seen, this could be a reflection of your shadow, your anima or animus, or even a projection of your own hidden desires, fears, or unresolved emotions. But here's something even more profound to consider. These people may not just be here to challenge us emotionally, they may be the keys to our personal evolution. When someone lingers in your thoughts, it's not necessarily about them at all. It's about what they are triggering in you, what they are prompting you to discover within yourself. Jung believed that the people who make a lasting impact on us often bring us face to face with aspects of our own psyche that we need to confront and explore. This person might be reflecting a part of your life or character that you've been avoiding, or they might be pushing you to deal with a deeper issue that you're not fully aware of yet. This idea aligns with Jung's broader view that our unconscious mind uses external events and people as mirrors to reveal what's going on internally. It's almost like the universe or your unconscious mind is using this person to draw your attention to something you've been avoiding or failing to acknowledge. And while this may feel uncomfortable or even unsettling, it's actually an incredible opportunity for growth. Imagine that the person who's constantly haunting your thoughts is challenging you to look inward and finally face something you've been avoiding. Whether it's a wound from the past, a fear you haven't dealt with, or a desire you haven't yet embraced. By understanding the deeper layers of your thoughts and emotions, you can use this opportunity not only to understand the person in your life, but also to better understand yourself. You start seeing them not as an external figure causing you stress, but as an agent of your personal transformation, guiding you toward healing and self-awareness. The people who seem to occupy our thoughts the most are often the ones who challenge us the most. And in doing so, they provide the opportunity to break through old patterns, limiting beliefs, and fears. They don't just represent a disruption in your mental peace. They represent a gateway to unlocking your own potential. It's about recognizing that these people aren't here to haunt you. They're here to help you confront something within yourself that is ready to be healed or evolved. So, instead of obsessing over why they keep appearing in your thoughts, ask yourself, what is this person trying to show me about myself? What part of me am I being called to face, understand, or embrace? This shift in perspective is transformative. It moves you from a place of frustration and confusion to a place of self-reflection and empowerment. By seeing the person not as the problem but as a reflection of your inner world, you can unlock a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Now that we've unpacked all of Jung's theories, explored projections, and discussed practical steps for growth, the final question is, what's the takeaway? How can you truly use this understanding in your own life? The people who live rent-free in your mind, whether they're exes, crushes, or mere acquaintances, are not just occupying space for no reason. As we've seen throughout this journey, their presence is far from random. These individuals, whether you're aware of it or not, are acting as mirrors to reflect deeper parts of yourself. And here's the most powerful part of all. These people, these recurring thoughts, are not something to fight against. They're a powerful invitation to self-discovery and growth. Jung's theories aren't just abstract psychological ideas. They are tools for personal transformation. If you can approach your thoughts and feelings with the understanding that they are signaling something important within you, you can start to decode the deeper messages that your unconscious mind is trying to send. Rather than being haunted by the person who lingers in your thoughts, you can begin to see them as a guide, a messenger leading you to understand yourself more deeply. By reflecting on the emotions that come up when you think about someone, you open the door to recognizing the parts of yourself that need attention. Whether it's a fear, a repressed desire, or an unacknowledged part of your personality, you are now in a position to understand these hidden aspects of yourself, rather than letting them control you. As you analyze the deeper meaning behind your feelings, you can start to take action, working on healing, growth, and embracing those parts of you that have been in the shadows. And let's not forget the power of synchronicity. When these meaningful coincidences happen, they aren't just random events to dismiss. They're calling you to pay attention, to take a deeper look at your life and what your unconscious mind is trying to tell you. These synchronistic moments are reminders that everything is connected, that your inner world is not separate from the external world, and the universe is constantly nudging you to explore what's happening inside. Finally, as you work through these steps of reflection, analysis, and action, you're not just going to grow from these experiences. You'll transform your relationship with yourself and the world around you. The person who's constantly in your thoughts might not change, but you will. Jung's wisdom teaches us that when we make the unconscious conscious, we unlock new layers of self-awareness and empowerment. You no longer have to feel haunted by these thoughts. Instead, you can use them as a tool to understand yourself, to heal, and to grow into a more authentic version of who you truly are. Remember, as Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. It's time to take control. Don't let your thoughts dictate your life. Embrace the power of self-awareness and let the people who occupy your mind become the catalysts for your own personal evolution. It's not just about them, it's about you. And by unlocking the mystery behind why they keep appearing in your thoughts, you'll unlock the deepest truths about yourself. Sure. Here are 5 prompts for each section based on the themes and concepts of each one. You can use these to generate images that match the tone and content of each section.